I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call to quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of this. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve. Shield my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no given. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. They don't wonder when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem, man. Perfect, let them watch me. Elevating, got them nauseous. Cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the option. Woo! Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead. Woo!
It's time! Welcome to DFS by the Numbers with your host, Brady.
Better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers and welcome to Best Bet for UFC 284. We have Islam Makhachev going against Alexander Volkanovski. Really looking forward to this episode of Best Bet. We have a killer panel today. Can't wait to break it all down. Before we get started, if you guys can please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and also go subscribe to these guys. Go check them out on Twitter. All their information is down low below in the description. And if you guys are new here, this is the new best bet for this year. It is a competition we are doing throughout the year. We have 6 rules. The first rule, you will get 1 hypothetical unit to put on your best bet for each and every fight. You bet a total of 10 fights per show. The other fights can be passed on. So for this show, we're going to be able to have 3 passes because we have 13 fights. Be sure to use the current lines of available at the time of the show. And the goal is to have 100 bets total for each person at the end of the year, 10 shows per person this year. You will have 1 best bet of the card, and if you get it right, your profit for that bet is going to double, and the standings are going to be updated weekly, and the one with the most profit at the end of the year wins. The prize is $100 out of my pocket, and then our guy Lou Betya also is going to be making a championship belt. And speaking of Lou Betya, right now we're taking a look at the standings down below. You can check him out. We have Lou Betya in first. He had a massive week 1 plus 7.98 units. I'm right behind him at plus 3.47. And we got Billy Briz making his debut here for Best Bet. So looking forward to it. We'll start with you, Weezy. Weezy, what is up? You looking forward to this card?
Definitely looking forward to this card, man. You know, we didn't have great fights last week. We don't have great fights next week. And even next week after that, not great. You know, it's a Nikita Krylov main event. So let's get in the now. Let's enjoy the fights today. Some really good ones. I mean, we got 2 of the best fighters pound for pound on the planet headlining this card. So it's going to be very difficult not to enjoy it. And we'll like it even more if we stack cash tickets like flapjacks this week. So let's get it.
Absolutely. And we got Lou Betya in the building. Yeah, shout out to Lou, a true professional running back home to get on the show. Appreciate you, Lou.
My friends are terrible. It's fine. Looking forward to the card. I realized why I don't have a guest next week for props to consider. It's because of how bad the card is. That I'm like a merciful Lou that was like, I cannot humanely ask anybody to break that card down. But I am very excited for this card. And what I will say is I'm going to be taking a little bit of a unique approach to this card now that I at least have a clubhouse lead, because I realize what I have to do. And some bets, I'd say they'll surprise people, but if you've been following me at all, will not surprise you at all. I'm very worried about your next guest, though, Brady, because he might like 20 unit me tonight.
Yeah, Billy's a killer, man. I'm looking forward.
Yeah, he's the worst. He's the best. He's the best. No, he's the best.
Go.
He's the worst for me.
We'll see. Billy, what is up? You looking forward to your debut on the show?
Yeah, man, I'm excited, man. Nice little pay-per-view event. You give me a nice little pickings. Hopefully tonight goes the way it's supposed to. Dagestan's finest is on the card tonight.
Let's go. So at the end of the night, I will be posting whoever got the best on the show on Twitter. So we'll see who did the best. So looking forward to it. Do you want to shout out the chat real quick before we get started? Boston Nick, I see you in there. We got Michael, we got K9, Amsterdam, Joshua, we got Ver, Dope Space Cowboy, we got Adam, and we got Gold King, Nick, we got Desi, Trevor, Rasmus. We have Stein in the building. We got Victor in the building. Handicap, Monster, Joe. Appreciate all you guys hanging out. Dab, I see you in there as well. We got Dickens in the chat. We got Hag in the chat. What is up, everybody? Propaholic King. What is up, guys? Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel. And like I said, go check out these guys as well. Link in the description below. All right. I say we get right into it. And let us start with the first fight on the card. I was telling Weezy before the show, like, how does Zabara Tuhugov, a featherweight, come up a weight class and miss weight at 155 pounds? Like, this guy's the biggest favorite on the card at minus 605. Weezy, we'll start with you. What are you liking for this first bet or first fight of the card?
So I have a track bet on this fight that I made prior to Zuba missing weight, but I actually kind of think it's maybe even a better bet now than it was prior to him missing weight. If he has a tough weight cut, I'm kind of expecting him to go out there and just try to finish this right away. And Zuba's got a lot of power early in fights. He has his only 2 finish wins at the UFC level were first round finishes. If you look prior to the UFC, when this guy's finishing fights, it's in the first round. And, Brenner's taking this fight on short notice, and he's coming all the way from Brazil to Australia. And then there's, the UFC debut, the nerves to deal with. I'm going with Zuba by first round knockout at plus 400 for that full unit, trying to jump out to a big lead in the first fight of the night and getting Zuba by what I think is his best win condition, even though Elvis Brenner's never been stopped in his career.
Man, I like that. I like that a lot. So you're going to Tuhugov, first round KO. I'm taking a little bit of a safer route, but I'm going violence as well. I'm going to go with the under 2.5 here at plus 100 on Bet Rivers. I think it's most likely Tuhugov going out there and getting a first round knockout because I was not impressed at all with Brenner. But, if Brenner does win this fight, you got to think it's probably a submission. The majority of his wins do come by submission. But yeah, I'm with you. I think Tuhugov does get it done early, and him missing weight at lightweight makes me like the under more than I did throughout earlier in the week. So I'm going with the under 2.5 here for Zabara Tuhugov, Elvis Brenner. Lou, how about you? What do you like for this fight here?
So my hair's out of control. I look like Doc from Back to the Future, and so do you, kind of, Brady.
Yeah.
I'm saying all of this because my bet here is I'm passing.
Okay. So you're passing? That's it?
That's it.
All right.
I got comedy in. I pass.
True. But you made fun of my hair, though. I mean,
I'm saying how like our hair looks like. Morty, you gotta tell him.
Fair enough. No, you're right. I woke up and I didn't even touch it, so no shame in that. Billy, what do you like for the first fight of the night?
Yeah, it was funny how Weezy was talking about his bet, how he liked it a little bit more after the weigh-ins. I actually added this bet after the weigh-ins because he missed weight here. I like the same exact prop that Weezy's on, Zabara to Gulilov, KO TKO round 1 plus 400 at FanDuel. I mean, I think right off the bat, if you think about it in a narrative theory, he missed weight and 3 canceled bouts prior to this. He's gonna have to come in here and show them why he's still in the UFC roster, because they're kind of scratching their head like, fuck, man, like we can't even rely on you to put you on a card with your other Dagestanians. And it's just not a good spot for Brenner, though. So I think Zabara comes in here, gets the first round knockout, and all the Dagestanians are dancing.
Yep, I like it. I don't like how I think it's probably going to hit, and you guys are going to go up 4 units to start the card, but I do like it. I think that's very live. All right, so you see it there on the screen. I'm going with the under. Weezy's going with Tuhugov round 1, Lou's passing, and then Billy's also going with the Tuhugov round 1. All right, we'll move on to the next fight. We have Blake Builder going against Shane Young. Looks like Shane Young around minus 133, Blake Builder plus 113. I'm going to start this one off, and it's going to be a pass for me. You're going to sit back and kind of watch this one. I kind of lean the Shane Young side, but man, I have no confidence. I have really no confidence in either guy here. I think it's going to be a fun fight to watch, but in terms of putting money on it, I'm going to sit back tight. Lou, you liking anything on this fight here?
Yeah, I can't pass twice in a row. And this kind of goes against a lot of my rules, but I'm going to play fight doesn't go at minus 1. Well, it's minus 150 left. I looked that I have written down for the show.
It's a little better than that now.
Minus
140.
Okay, so I will do that. Builder stinks, and yet he's undefeated, and he gets rocked in every fight. Even Alex Morgan, there's a weird fight. I remember, Brady, when we did that tape, it was we might have both been on Alex Morgan there. I'm not 100% sure, but and Shane Young is so much inactivity. Like, I can't trust it. His cardio traditionally, like on his tape's been all right, but 2-year layoff, like Builder's fought 3 times since. Just give me fight doesn't go. I'll root for like meme sub by Builder in like round 3, but that's it. I can't pass twice in a row.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you could, but you can't. Weezy, what do you like for this fight here?
I've got a tracked bet on this fight as well, and it is the Blake Builder finish only prop. I don't think Young's much of a finisher at this level. He did finish Rolando D a while back, but I mean, I don't think D's really UFC level. And Blake Builder, even though he is getting sparked in a lot of his fights, like Lou said, he's tough. He's going to be very difficult to finish, and he actually sometimes fights a little bit better after he gets sparked. He's kind of like Jimmy Crute in that a good shot to the head will actually make him a little bit smarter for a second, and he'll fight smarter. So I'm thinking that if there's one guy that's a real opportunistic finisher and that's more likely to finish this fight, from what I saw on tape, it's definitely Builder due to the fact that this guy's kind of a killer on the ground too. So Blake Builder finish only. Plus 110 on DraftKings Sportsbook.
Gotcha. Builder finish only, plus 110. Billy, what do you like for this fight here?
Side-wise, I kind of lean towards the Shane Young side. I think the 2-year layoff, though, is going to throw me off, though, that I don't want to bet the money line here. I like fight doesn't go to distance. Hopefully he'll be singing Aussie, Aussie, Aussie either to a victory or a knockout, because I think this one isn't hitting the scorecards.
All right, so I'm passing on it. Weezy with that Builder finish only, and then Lou Betya and Billy Briz going with that fight doesn't go to decision for that fight there. So, all right, next we have one of my favorite fights on the card, and it might shock you to say that, but we got my girl, Loma Lookboonmee, going against Elise Reed. Money pouring in on Loma as of late. Loma's now minus 330, Elise Reed plus 270. Billy, we'll start with you. What are you liking for this fight here?
I obviously like Loma, but I didn't want to take the money line here. But I feel like Elise Reed could eventually gas out late here, maybe in the 3rd round, or this hits the scorecard. So I hit the Loma round 3 or decision on FanDuel at minus 165.
I like that call. For me, I'm gonna try to get a home run here. I don't know if I should do that. I'll play it kind of safe.
Do it.
I don't know. I'm going to go kind of safe. I'm going to go with Loma inside the distance, plus 300. I mean, the way I look at it, I mean, if she does not finish Elise Reed, I don't think she's ever going to get a finish the rest of her career. I mean, like you said, Billy, her gas tank's not good. Her ground game's not good. She made Sam Hughes look like Hamza Chimaev. If Loma can get on top and pound away, I think she can get her out of there. So I'm going to take the plus 300. Considered maybe like the round 3, but I'll take the plus 300 here for Loma Lookboonmee inside the distance. Lou, what are you liking for this one here?
Get that. Let's go. Loma finish. I don't want to discount the sub because, I mean, look, I'll just add so I don't seem like this is some old fool. 9 takedowns in her last 3 fights, but really 1 was against Loopy which is still impressive, but 4 each against Sam Hughes and Denise Gomez, which was like the greatest fight ever that had no business being a great fight. Like, that was an amazing fight to watch. I think Loma just absolutely goes batshit crazy here, gets to finish. I debated doing like round 2, round 3, but like, you know what, man, just Loma in the distance. I'm not even like putting out the sub's not possible here. So just Loma in the distance. Like, that's it.
All right.
Loma season, as the internet says.
Yeah, a lot of people. I haven't seen much people on Reed, so hopefully it works out. I have a bet on Loma. I've been terrified about it, but I think she gets it done. Weezy, what are you liking for this fight here?
You know, while you guys were just yapping, I just decided to make a track bet because I didn't even look at the round props here. Loma round 3 at plus 1,600 is something I just put a quarter unit on, and I'm going to track that. But as far as for the show today, I'm going to just do it for the show, but I'm not doing it as a tracked bet because there's no way I wouldn't get even more gray hairs. I'm just going Loma by decision and hoping that she doesn't finish yet another fighter. Minus 125 on FanDuel. I think it's pretty good. I mean, she's never finished a fight in the UFC. So, you know, if you get a line that's like minus 300 down to minus 125, it's a pretty good chunk of implied probability that you're paying down. So it's much cheaper. That's what I'm going to go with for the show. But I just put a quarter unit at plus 1,600 on Loma Lukbunmi round 3.
Ooh, are you sure you didn't want to do 1 unit to win 16 here?
No, man, I'm not going to do that to you guys, man. I'm not going to do that to you guys. I mean, it would be a bold move. Maybe late in the year when I'm getting my ass shaved by all you guys, I'll just start throwing out bets like that.
Heck yeah. All right, we'll move on. We got Jack Jenkins going against Don Sheinus. A lot of money coming in on Jack Jenkins throughout the week. He's now around minus 385. Don Sheinus is plus 320. And we will start with you, Lou. What are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, I'm going to play tame. I like Jenkins in the distance. It was minus 135 last I looked. So, yeah, I think Sheinus is probably live early, but Jenkins should pick him apart from distance. If it does get to the grappling round, I expect Sheinus to like gas. So, I can't say I love this bet, and I do not have this actually bet, but for the show, Jenkins should round 2, round 3 him. I'm not this guy that he can't like just bonk him in like 10 seconds, but minus 135 Jenkins in the distance.
All right, Jenkins inside the distance, minus 135. Billy, what are you liking for this fight here?
I like Jack Jenkins, but I don't like the line. I'm not a big fan of this fight. I think this fight should be a little bit closer, but Jack Jenkins wins, but I got to pass on this one.
Billy is passing, and I'm passing as well. I'm with you. I think Jenkins wins this fight, but I don't know. I think Sheinus might be getting counted out a little bit, but it's just hard to see Sheinus going out there and pulling this off. If he was to pull it off, it had to be like an early finish. I don't see him winning a decision. So yeah, I do think Jack wins this fight more often than not, but minus 400, what are you going to do? I could definitely lean inside the distance, but I could also see him kind of just outpointing him to a decision. So it's a pass for me, but I do think Jenkins gets this done. Weezy, how about you? You like anything for this fight?
Yeah, add another pass to the heap. I think Jenkins gets the job done. I really like this kid. There doesn't really appear to be any weaknesses in his game. He's an excellent prospect. He's fighting at home. He's fighting a guy that probably isn't UFC level and is definitely undersized for the division. So, yeah, I think all arrows are pointing at Jenkins here, but I can't find a bet where the implied probability of the bet doesn't feel extremely overpriced. So I'm just going to stay away.
All right. I think I'm going to stay away as well. Serial saying Elise Reed isn't that bad. Yeah, I don't think she's bad. I actually cashed a bet. I think me and Weezy did. We cashed a bet on her as a dog against Melissa Martinez last time out. But I mean, I just think it's a rough match for her this go around. Conan saying Loma Lukbunmi would KO Ngannou in under 30 seconds. And I agree with that. Maybe a teep kick to the body. Maybe puts Ngannou
right to the
down.
sack. It would be right at head level for Loma. Good elbow to the sack, and yeah, that'd be it for Francis.
I'm hearing gimmick infringement.
Oh,
I'm hearing gimmick infringement.
Yam bags, right in the yam bags. I think that's what we meant to say there. Don Sheinus is a good underdog. I mean, we'll see. I think it's a tough matchup for him. This is
by the way, that's also Don Sheinus in chat. Just so we know.
Nice. Where's Don?
Is Don Sheinus in chat?
The account that said Don Sheinus is a good underdog. I just assumed that was.
You're fucking with me.
Maybe, man. All right. Let us move on to the next fight. We have Jamie Malarkey going against Francisco Prado. Let's start with you, Billy. What are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, early in the week, I kind of liked the Jamie Malarkey side, but then kind of digging a little bit more deeper into this fight, I think the under 2.5 is the safest route. I don't mind the Jamie Malarkey inside the distance prop. I've seen a couple of my homeboys were on that prop, but I think I want to play the under 2.5, get a little bit of both sides. Who knows about this guy, Francisco Prado? He's 11-0. They found him for a reason. I mean, I don't think he's a total trash can, but he looked a little bit – the regional seed tape was a little bit suspect in my opinion, but I think this is Jamie Malarkey's spot to shine. So hopefully the under 2.5 hits, and if he slips on the banana peel, hopefully I benefit from it.
Yep, if the under 2.5 hits this week, the entire Twitter is going to rejoice because everybody is on that play. Besides our guy Lou Betya. Lou, what do you like in here?
I've been saying all week, something's holding me back to take the under. Like, I haven't been rooting against anybody, which is like, but I don't love the price here, but let's put my money where my mouth is, Brady. Give me Jamie Malarkey by decision at plus 225.
Ooh, a little greasy.
Let's fucking go, dude.
A little greasy there. Okay, I see you. Yeah, for me, I'm gonna agree with Billy here. I'm gonna go with the under 2.5 around the minus 165 range. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good violent spot here. I mean, Prado coming in on short notice, traveling all across the world here against Jamie Malarkey. Prado's going to be very dangerous early. I think both guys very defensively irresponsible. Both guys dangerous. Prado 100% finish rate, Malarkey 87%. I think somebody does get finished here at some point in this fight. But yeah, instead of taking Malarkey inside the distance, which I'm not even sure what that is, Malarkey inside the distance around even money, I would rather just cover, Prado's win condition, which I do think is going to be fairly early on. So yeah, give me the under minus 165. And yeah, hopefully that hits. And if it does not, the bookies are going to clean up. Weezy, what do you like for this fight?
Yeah, I mean, I'm betting that under 2.5. It's minus 160 right now on DraftKings Sportsbook. I can't believe this hasn't moved more. It was actually minus 165 earlier. Prado has never been over 2.5 rounds in his entire pro career. He's taken the fight on short notice, flying from Argentina to Australia to make his UFC debut in front of a hostile, drunk crowd of Aussies chanting "Oi, oi, oi!" And I mean, he's probably getting knocked out in the first or early in the second here, but he throws with power. So, I mean, he could absolutely get a finish too, because we've seen Malarkey get sparked on a number of different occasions. The dude absorbs punishment from range. So I think somebody's getting served here. And if this fight even got into the third round, I'd be surprised. So at minus 160, it's just that I got a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach why this line hasn't moved a lot, which is probably why I'm trying to hold back from max betting it. But I've also got a 1-unit bet on the under 1.5 at plus 155 that I got earlier in the week. But I think the under 2.5 is safer.
Yeah, I mean, I bet the under 2.5 on February 1st is my first bet of the card and got minus 130. So it's moved a little bit. I was expecting it to move a lot more than that, but yeah, I mean, it hasn't moved as much as I really thought it would. So we'll see what happens there. Let's take a look at this. So we have 5 bets in. We'll quickly go through them. I'm going with Tuhugov under 2.5 plus 100. I'm going with passing on the Builder fight. I'm taking Loma inside the distance plus 300. I'm passing on the Jenkins fight, and I'm taking Malarkey under 2.5 rounds minus 160. Uncle Weezy going with Tuhugov KO1 plus 400. He's taking the Builder finish only plus 110. He's going Loma decision minus 125, passing on the Jenkins fight and going with that Malarkey under 2.5 minus 160. Betya is passing on the Tuhugov fight. He's taking Young fight doesn't go decision minus 136, and he's got Loma inside the distance plus 300. Jenkins inside the distance minus 135, Malarkey inside the distance plus 225, and then Billy's going with the Tuhugov KO1 plus 400. The Young fight doesn't go to decision minus 136. Loma round 3 or decision. Billy, did you know the line for that one?
Yeah, minus 165 at FanDuel Sportsbook.
Got you there. So minus 165. He is passing on the Jenkins fight, and then he has the Malarkey under 2.5 rounds. Sounds good to me. All right. Well, let's move on to the next fight. We have the other weight miss of the card. We have Kletzen Rodriguez going against Shannon Ross, but that weight miss did not affect the money line here, as Rodriguez is a big favorite. He opened up at minus 182, something like that, and now he's minus 350, minus 183, and then now he's Shannon Ross opened up at plus 158. He's now plus 285, so money is pouring in on Kletzen Rodriguez, and I think I might have a feeling why, and I think it might have something to do with it potentially being Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, first of all, shout out to Nazarian in the chat, who said that Parker Porter's looking in great shape. He's on the main event, but his ass is on the prelims, and that is accurate. Awesome. It's that big of an ass, and we have to worry about Australia potentially tipping over because Parker's not in the middle. Perth is in the west, so him being on the edge of the continent could actually tip it over with the size of his ass. But for this Shannon Ross Kletzen Rodriguez fight, it is Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week. I am planning on Kletzen Rodriguez to shave the ass of Shannon Ross here, first or second round knockout. And the bet is going to be Kletzen inside the distance at plus 100, available on DraftKings Sportsbook.
All right. And I'll go next because I agree with you, Weezy. I'm going with the exact same thing. Kletzen inside the the distance plus 100. The weight miss doesn't really, pull me off of that at all, really. I think he goes out here and finishes Shannon Ross, who has been finished before. And I just really, I think Ross, he's not even a bad fighter. I think he's pretty solid. It's just he leaves a ton of openings to be hit. He goes out there, he gets into these brawls and these wars, and he just doesn't have the chin for it. He leaves a lot of openings, and he's going to get hit clean here. And I think it might even be a head kick. So I like Rodriguez to finish Ross, whether it's a head kick knockout. I think a club and subs in play. But man, Ross is not only getting dropped 3 times on the Contender Series, but even like outside of that, he's getting dropped a ton. And Rodriguez hits hard and he kicks hard. So I like that too easy. I'm going with Klutz and Rodriguez inside the distance plus 100. Lou, what are you liking for this fight here?
I'm enjoying your chat of literal contrarian betters for the sake of being contrarian. I'm with the two of you. And don't we have one bet we can make the double, or we don't do that?
Yeah, we do at the end.
Yep. Okay, well, it's going to be this one for me.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Klutz in the distance is my best bet here. He's going to absolutely murder Shannon Ross. And he can do it both ways. If he wants to do it on the feet, Shannon Ross's strike defense is terrible. His tape, I don't care what his excuse was in the Contender Series. His tape before that was terrible. If Clinton Rodriguez wants to chuck him on the ground and just sub him, he can. So Clinton Rodriguez all day, and Serial Chiller just is here to disagree with the panel and chat. Love those guys. Love those guys.
No, it's always nice to get a.
No, they're taking time out of their day to watch us. We appreciate that.
No, but he's right. Ross fought with I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Does anybody know what this is?
Yeah, dude, that's when your appendix gets inflamed, and most of the time it has to be taken out. So
also, can we address that one? This was rumored. This was rumored, and he said he had the symptoms of appendicitis. Because if he actually had appendicitis, he's not physically able to fight in order to get cleared. He said he had the symptoms of appendicitis. So if you guys want to just spin this narrative shit, at least it takes you 10 seconds to go on the internet to research it. That's it.
Yeah. And then Jesus saying Salvador's a killer.
Oh, yeah.
He looked like a killer in that fight, but prior to that fight, he looked like a bum. So I was shocked that he was going out there starching Ross.
He looked great in that fight.
He looked amazing. He made a ton of improvements. I'll say that. Yeah. Billy, what are you liking for this one here?
I'm going to pass on this fight, dude. I don't think Cleason Rodriguez's cardio is going to check out here. That weight miss was a bad weight miss. I think he had some problems with the flight, adjusting to the altitude or whatever the Australian difference between that and Brazil is. He was not having a good time. He looked like shit. Unprepared, and maybe this has Shannon Ross a little bit more amped up to come in here and, home crowd's going to be behind him here. I think this is a pass. I think Cleason Rodriguez is a little bit of a fraud.
Oh, all right. We'll have to see. Here we go. All right. Let us move on to our next fight. We have Bhagnasarian going against Josh Coolibah. And let's start with you, Billy. Billy, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, this is my most convicted fight of the week. Gotta ride with my guy, Melsick, money bags Orion, because he's about to cash us some tickets this weekend. I like the KO, TKO rounds 1 or 2 plus 430. The books are just not hip to Melsick bags Orion yet. It feels like every time he comes up on this betting odds of for the last 3 years, they don't acknowledge that he's a former K1 world champion kickboxer and he just likes to finish people early in fights. And if he doesn't finish you early in the fight, he'll probably just outpoint you to a decision. And Coolibah never landed a takedown in the UFC. So you're giving me a striker versus a former K1 world champion kickboxer. How do you not put all the money on Bags of Ryan here? And then a little bit of narrative theory last night at the weigh-ins. How do you not even like it even more? Coolibah tried to do the gun logo thing to my guy Melsick, and Melsick choked him right in front of Dick Bader and then walked right off the stage and said, "Fuck you." Didn't even take the pictures, and I think he wants to I think he has some remorse because it was a little bit disrespectful to the Armenian. I think he knocks him out first round.
First round KO. What would you say the line was on that Melsick KO 1-2?
Plus 430 on FanDuel.
Gotcha. All right. Lou, what are you liking for this fight here?
Man, I need the drugs that some of you guys in chat and Billy is on. This is nuts. I mean, the over 2.5 is minus 185. Like, you guys think it's like that simple. This is going to be a moment winner versus minute winner fight. Coolibah is going to dart in and out. Bhagnasarian is going to land the bigger shots, like the leg kicks, maybe some body shots. Coolibah's tough. Like, he's very
If you're getting
tough
choked
guy.
that way, it's how tough are you really, man? I can't imagine what's going to happen with the gloves.
I imagine it's fun. At this point, I'm just making my bets to fade chat. Like, looking at all this nonsense. Give me this fight to end in split decision at plus 500 odds.
Ooh.
I mean, I already and I have a tracked bet on this fight to end in split decision as well. Plus 500. It's plus 900 Coolibah, plus 1,000 Bhagnasarian for the show. Fight to end in split. Moment winner versus minute winner. Classic. And I'm really sorry this chat's gonna like literally lose all their goddamn money, like looking at this nonsense.
Why are you being mean to the chat, man?
There's just some crazy confidence, like, and also like, how are you confident in like a minus 110 fight? Like,
because nobody knows who Melsick Bhagnasarian is, man. Nobody knows who he is.
I guess. I mean, this is a smart money play for me. Like, I see an over 2.5. Like, this fight's slated to go to decision. It's minus 110. How do I not bet the split? This is like basic math. So
I'm telling you, Lou, from a friend to a friend.
I mean, if anything, I work with Weezy, and Weezy loves math. I hope he can support at least the math element of like a fight slated to go the distance. I mean, Josh Coolibah is not Colin Anglin. Like, is Colin Anglin a bum, Brady?
A little bit.
Josh Coolibah's not a bum, dude. I think this is going to go the distance. Give me this split in a 15-minute kickboxing fight where Coolibah will probably land more strikes and Bhagnasarian will land the more impactful strikes.
All right, sounds good. Weezy, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm passing on this one. I thought I would get to a Coolibah money line bet earlier in the week before I taped the fight. And then after I taped the fight, I was like, man, this is going to be close. So I'm just going to stay away from this one. But yeah, from what Lou was saying, about minus 180 to go to the distance. So you're looking at about 64, 65% there. And the line is close, like right in the middle. So if it does wind up going to decision 2/3 of the time, but you're getting split decision at about a 16% implied probability, you're talking about a 50% implied probability gap there, which means that you're probably getting a pretty good deal on that particular bet. I think it's a decent way to play it, man.
Yep. For me, I'm passing here. I think it's a close fight. I do lean Melsick to win this one, but no strong lean one way or another. So I'm passing on this one, but the pick would be Melsick there. All right, we'll move on to the next fight. We have Tyson Pedro going against Modestas Bukauskas, and Weezy. We'll start with you. What are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, I've got a tracked bet on this fight, you guys. It is the under 1.5 rounds, and let me get my prop template up here so I can give you guys the analytics. Under 1.5, I've got it written down here at plus 114 on FanDuel. That's a 46.7% implied probability. Fights go under 1.5 rounds about that often at the 205-pound weight class. But when you look at Pedro and Bukauskas at the UFC level, they've had a combined 12 fights, and 8 of them have finished under 1.5 rounds. 50% of Bukauskas' fights and 75% of Pedro's fights. In addition to that, Bukauskas just fought on New Year's Eve of 2022, so it's a quick turnaround, 2 weight cuts in a 5-week period, a flight from the UK to Australia, and then once again, hostile crowd, drunken fans. It's a tall order for Modestas Bukauskas here. So under 1.5 rounds at only 46% implied probability, when 66% of their combined fights at the UFC level have finished under 1.5 rounds. And then you add the narrative concerns about the quick turnaround, the short notice, the long flight for Bukauskas. Tyson Pedro's fights very rarely get out of the first round. I think the under 1.5 at plus 114 is the way to play this one.
Sounds good. Billy, what do you like for this fight here?
I like the Tyson Pedro round 1 knockout. And then it became this. It went from like a nice little lean. I was kind of leaning a little bit. I thought Bukauskas earlier in the week. I was like, maybe he could run around the cage a little bit here. Maybe this goes over the 1.5, and maybe it's a late finish. But then kind of getting closer towards the fight. I'm feeling like Tyson Pedro is going to get this first round knockout, and we're not going to really know. Whoever Modestas Bukauskas' manager is needs to get fired. I think Tyson Pedro gets this first round knockout. And then I saw it was on FanDuel at plus 420, and I said, come here, baby.
Holy crap, plus 420. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I'm going with Weezy here, though. I'm going with the under 1.5 rounds, plus 114. I think Pedro does go out there and starch Modestas Bukauskas, but kind of a narrative thing. Bukauskas is talking about coming in here, guns a-blazing for this fight. He's on a 3-fight skid in the UFC, so good luck with that. First of all, Modestas, and second of all, I think if he does go in there and actually fight somebody for once, I think he probably does get finished, pretty quickly here. So I like the under 1.5 rounds. Pedro, when he wins, it's in the first round. When he loses, it's because it goes past the first round. So I think those Pedro round 1 props are something to highly consider instead of laying like minus 250 on this guy. So yeah, give me the under 1.5 rounds, plus 114 there. I like that spot quite a bit. And then Lou, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I'll go Pedro in the distance to plus 100. The short turnaround on fights, and also like I watched that Charlie Campbell fight, a Chuck Campbell fight, and like Charlie Campbell sucks, dude, man. Like that was a terrible effort. Like the Chadwick fight wasn't a great effort. Like he's not back. Like these 2 fights were again really low level competition. Bukauskas looked terrible. Like I initially thought, man, maybe I'll take a live look on Bukauskas after round 1, but I don't even care. And like we've heard so much hype about, Pedro only wins out of the first round. I mean, he watch him against Villanueva, and I know Ike stinks, but like he paced himself. He was slower. He was just measured, and there's no reason he can't be a little more measured here, conserving his cardio. Bukauskas is there to get finished, so give me Pedro even money to get a finish here. I won't get cute with the submission or knockout props.
Yeah, I'm like actually shocked that Pedro's inside the distance is plus money when he's like minus 250. So I think he finishes if he wins. So I do like that. All right, we have about 575 of you in here. If you guys have not already, be sure to smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel. And like I said, I did link down these guys and their information in the description below. Also down below, if you guys are new here, I have the 6 rules for best bet. Go check them out if you want to check those out. And then also go check out the current standings. Our guy, Lou Betya, is in first place. I can't wait to see if that sticks after tonight's show. It's going to be very interesting there. But we're going to move on to the main card, and we're going to kick it off with an absolute banger. We have Jimmy Crute going against Alonzo Menifield. Weezy, we'll start with you. What are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, so I tracked a bet earlier in the week, 1.5 units on the Crute Menifield under 1.5. I think we got it somewhere around like minus 115-ish, Brady, when earlier in the week. I forget exactly where, but now it's sitting in minus 143. However, it's still underpriced according to my prop template here, because we got about a 59% implied probability on the line at minus 143. These fights go under 1.5 rounds about 46% of the time. So it's overpriced by 13% according to the benchmark. But the other props are overpriced by 17.5%, 17%, 19% according to those benchmarks. And then if we look at the benchmarks versus the performance at the UFC level, 69% of Crute and Menifield's combined 16 fights have finished under 1.5 rounds. So that's about 10%. That's a 10% break over the implied probability of the line. And they're finishing under 1.5 rounds at a 23% rate greater than what the division does. So these guys are finishers. They get finished. You got Crute much better on the ground. You got Menifield with serious power on the feet. And then you've got Menifield, who's never fought outside of the United States. First time he's doing it all the way over in Australia. So I like the under 1.5 here. And even at minus 143, which is much more expensive than where we got it earlier in the week, it still seems underpriced according to the metrics.
Sounds good. I'm right there with you on that 1.5, and I'm on that fight won't start round 3 as well. So needed violence in this one for sure. Billy, what do you like for this fight?
Yeah, I mean, Weezy just summarized everything that I love right there. Under 1.5 here.
All right, Weezy summed it up pretty good. Lou, what do you like?
Let's make it 4 for 4. Can't trust Crute's fight IQ.
No.
Can't trust.
You can trust it to be bad.
I can't trust Menifield's cardio. And somebody in chat said that he looked bad yesterday, Menifield. I agree. Like there was something like that looked kind of off about him. So I like Crute. I'd like to see him just absolutely crush Menifield in the first round and like get back to what I think his potential is. But either way, I think like somebody's getting like dusted in the first round.
Yep, man. I think it's our first 4 for 4 of the year. So let's see if it pays off. But yeah, I like violence here quite a bit. I think on the feet, honestly, both guys are live to knock out each other. Like somebody in the chat mentioned that a 45-year-old OSP like completely deaded Menifield. So yeah, I think Crute can knock him out. And then on the flip side, obviously Menifield can knock out a very, very hittable Jimmy Crute with that 50% strike and defense coming off of back-to-back KO losses. And then if Crute is able to get this fight down to the mat, which I'm not convinced he does, but if he does, I think he runs through Menifield like a hot knife through butter. Like Crute's ground game is, I think, one of the best in the division. So yeah, I like violence here. I think both guys have paths to finish, and Crute has kind of multiple paths to finish. So yeah, give me the under 1.5. We got a 4 for 4 there, and let's see if that one hits for this week. All right, next we have the People's main event. We have Justin Tafa going against Parker Porter. The worst fight on the card, and they're making us pay $80 for it. Let's go. Looking forward to it. We'll start with you, Lou. What are you liking for this fight?
How many bets do I have left on the card, Brady? 2 or 1?
So you have only 1 pass, so you have to pass on 2 more.
Let's go, dude. Let's try to win this contest right now.
Okay.
I'm betting a draw at plus 5,000 odds. Parker Tafa. I have 2 reasons I like this. Tafa could 10-8 him in the first, just absolutely maul him. Tafa has nothing past the first round. Parker, for all we've seen, he's not a finisher. He's like a willing takedown participant. He goes for takedowns. Also, I am like massively huge on Yambags in this fight. This is from the Weezy and Lou Yambag Science Institute. It checks all the boxes. It's Southpaw Orthodox. It's 2 sloppy strikers. It has Parker Porter. Checks all the boxes that we want from the Yambag fight. I think a point detection's live. I think a draw is very live. Let's try to win this contest now. Let's go. The draw.
1 unit to win 66 units if Lou is able to complete this draw. And I thought I was getting kind of crazy on this one, but the play I am going to give out is going to be a line that kind of shocks me because I think it's this guy's win condition, and it's actually going to be the Tafa side, and it's going to be Tafa by first round KO at plus 440 on FanDuel Sportsbook. I don't think either of these guys are good at all. Justin Tafa lost to Jared Vandera, which is just completely inexcusable. But I also don't think Parker Porter's that good. I think if this fight leaves the first round, it probably means that Parker Porter's going to take over, win rounds 2 and 3. But I think Tafa, he hits very hard, and Porter's been finished in all of his losses, 3 coming by knockout. So I'm going to say that Tafa goes out there hot and gets that finish potentially in a plus 440. Like, I feel like that's how he wins the fight. So give me Tafa KO1 plus 440 there. Billy, what do you like for this fight?
You muted, bro?
I think you might be muted.
Yeah, I would like to pass on this fight. I
How dare you?
Really digging a little bit deeper, and then I just got to a point I was like, why am I betting on this fight so fast?
Hey, I don't blame you at all. Weezy, I'm guessing you're probably passing here.
I'm not. I am not passing here, actually. I've got a really good one for you guys. So you guys know that I'm looking at the stats, trying to find angles for you here. How about this one? Justin Tafa, not great. Parker Porter, not great. But which one of these guys is the better minute winner, right? We got Justin Tafa landing about 5.2 distance strikes per minute at distance, absorbing about 6. You got Porter landing 8.45, absorbing about 8.16. Porter throws more volume at distance than his opponents, while Tafa throws less. In addition to that, we've seen Parker Porter attempt 20 takedowns in 5 fights. We've seen Tafa attempt 2. So Porter's more likely to wrestle. Porter throws volume, but Porter gets finished inside the distance a lot. So if Justin Tafa in his pro career is 0-2 in decisions, and Parker Porter in his pro career is 3-0 in decisions, why not take the Parker Porter decision-only prop, which pushes if this thing finishes inside the distance, and get it at minus 120?
At minus 120 for real?
I couldn't believe it, but that's what it is on DraftKings Sportsbook right now.
That's wild because I was gonna bet that earlier in the week, but it was like minus 150. So I guess it got better, which is weird for no reason.
It's minus 125 now, so I'm a liar, but still minus 125. It was minus 120 earlier. Okay. I'm thinking about tracking that bet and making that bet because I don't see Justin Tafa winning a decision here.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make much sense to me whatsoever. I mean, Parker has the minute winning upside and the wrestling upside as well. So, yep, kind of a weird line there. I like it. All right, so we have 3 fights left. We have Jack Della Maddalena going against Randy Brown. We will start with you, Lou. What are you liking for this fight here?
I'll pass on this one just so I can do Yair.
Okay. So, Lou, you have used 2 passes thus far. You passed on the Tuhugov fight, and then you passed on the Maddalena fight, and then you have 1 fight left to pass on. Billy, what do you like here in this matchup?
This fight really intrigues me. I'm a huge Jack Della Maddalena fan. You know, he's actually my computer lock screen home cover, actually. Side note. But for this fight here, though, I think he might not be able to get that early finish. And if he doesn't get that early finish, I feel like this might be a contrary between like the fans want him to get a finish, but he just cares about getting the win. And he knows he's fighting a legit level of competition here in Randy Rude Boy Brown. And I think he gets this one by decision. I think either a split decision or a unanimous decision. So plus 320, Jack Della Maddalena by decision.
Jack by decision plus 320. Lou, what are you liking here?
We already went over this. Can I pass again?
Oh,
I just
Weezy, my bad. I was looking at your name and was thinking Weezy. So Weezy, what do you like here?
So for this one, I've got the under 1.5 at plus 145. Jack Della Maddalena has never been over 1.5 in his UFC fights. He did go over 1.5 in the Angalusa fight. But I was just watching Angalusa versus AJ Fletcher preparing for next week. Dude, Fletcher was hitting Angalusa with absolute hammers in the second round, and Lusa's almost impossible to finish. So if it weren't for the Lusa fight, I think Jack Della Maddalena would have a 100% finish rate as a professional. And all 3 of his fights have finished under 1.5 rounds. Their combined 17 UFC fights have been finishing under 1.5 rounds 41.2% of the time. And we're getting below a 40% implied probability. So it's actually pretty fairly priced. It's the cheapest of all the violence lines. And I think it gets Jack by his best win condition here. Hostile territory for Randy Rude Boy Brown. I think it's going to finish early, and we're getting a nice fat plus money number on it. So that's what we're going with.
Yeah, I think it finishes early as well, but I'm going to go with Jack Della Maddalena to win just by knockout. And it moved a little bit, but I still see it at minus 115. Yeah, I think he knocks out Randy Brown here. I don't really got to worry about the submission, you wouldn't think. So I'm taking the knockout prop. Randy Brown, he's been knocked out 2 times, once by Nico Price and once by Vicente Luque. And he just leaves a lot of openings, especially as the fight goes on. His hands are low. He relies on that head movement. I think Jack's going to pressure forward, land a lot of volume, and land a lot of big shots, and I think he puts Randy Brown out at some point in this fight. I think in the first or second round there. So give me Jack KO minus 115. I'm also on the under 2.5 in this fight for what it's worth, but I'm getting a little bit better of a price or just going with Jack KO because I am pretty confident in Jack Della Maddalena to get it done today. We'll move on to the next fight. We have the co-main event. We have Yair Rodriguez going against Josh Emmett. We have Yair around minus 185, Josh Emmett around like plus 160. There are injury rumors. There's a picture floating around of Josh Emmett, his face completely sunk in. A lot of memes coming out of Josh Emmett looking awful after the weigh-ins, and money seems to be coming in on Yair. We'll start with you, Billy. What are you liking for this co-main event?
Yeah, I'm just not going to get cute here. I'm just going to take Yair straight here on the money line. I don't know if minus 175 is a little bit too juicy here, but that's the straight money line bet for this bet here. I just think Yair wins this more times than not, and it's not that bad of a line.
What line did you say it was?
Minus 175, bet 365.
Got you there. All right, take in Yair money line minus 175. You said.
Yep.
Okay, got you. All right, Lou, what are you liking for the co-main event here?
I'm playing Fight Doesn't Go for my last bet at -105. Emmett, I know Yair's never been knocked down in the UFC, but man, Emmett is just the legendary power. And if he does have the injuries, which by the way, this has like been this Twitter rumor for 2 weeks, but with or without the injuries, Rodriguez is going to be the most unique opponents ever fought. He never fights guys that have the kicking game that Rodriguez does. I do think Rodriguez can put him away late. Emmett was slowing down a little bit against Cater, but I think one way or the other, we're getting a definitive finish here. Either Emmett KO or Rodriguez. I mean, probably also KO, but Rodriguez could just wear and tear him. So at almost even money, I like it. -105. Fight Doesn't Go. Let's go.
Yep. You can even get +102. So I'll give you that +102, Lou. And I'll also go with that. I like violence here as well. I did bet it earlier in the week. I mean, these guys are just going to stand and bang for 25 minutes. Josh Emmett, as we know, he has that wrestling background, but he refuses to use it. And he's definitely going to refuse to use it if he has a freaking hip injury, a shoulder injury, right? So, yeah, I think these guys are going to stand and bang. Both guys have a ton of power, a ton of finishing ability, 25 minutes to get it done. So, yeah, I do like that violence. And money's been coming in on that throughout the week, but I still see it at +102. And that is the line I will take there. Weezy, what are you liking for this co-main event?
Nothing. I'm going to pass on this one. I just can't get a read on it. I'm very worried about Emmett's power at all times in any fight. And but I'm also pretty confident that Yair is a very durable dude and that his stand-up minute winning potential is very good here. And, you know, there's the rumors about the injury. Both these guys are making a long trip to Australia. It just feels like a really good stay away from me.
Yep, nothing wrong with that. So I have used all three of my passes. I'm passing on the Builder fight, I'm passing on the Jenkins fight, and I'm passing on the Melsick fight. Uncle Weezy has used all three of his passes. He's passing on the Jenkins fight, the Melsick fight, and he's passing on the Rodriguez fight. Lou Betya has, I think, one pass left, Lou. And then Billy has passed on the Jenkins fight, the Rodriguez fight, and the Tafa fight. So main event here, we have Islam Makhachev going against Alexander Volkanovski. We have Islam -400. We got Volkanovski +300. Billy, let's start with you. What are you liking for the main event?
I like Islam here inside the distance, -150. But I think the more safer bet here is probably going to be the over 2.5 at -135 at Bet365. Hopefully that number's still there. But hopefully Volkanovski doesn't die in the early goings of this fight, because I think there's definitely a chance where Islam Makhachev gets to take down early in this fight and Volkanovski doesn't get up and this fight's over and everybody's like, damn, why do we even make this fight? But hopefully Volkanovski can sneak this out and hopefully just go to the scorecards or late finish or something like that for the better odds for all the inside the distance props for Islam late here.
I see the over 2.5 is like, I saw like a +148 on Bet Rivers. I think is the best out there right now for that over. All right. So Billy taking the over. Lou, you're passing on this fight. You got to, but any thoughts on the main event at all?
Yes, I'm going to echo a sentiment that our buddy James Lucrative has said. Two thoughts. You're never going to get a better fighter at these odds in your lifetime. So anybody, look, I think Makhachev wins. I think he wins comfortably. But I agree with the sentiment. You are never going to get a better fighter at +300 odds. And round 5 Volk KO is +6,000. And before anybody thinks that's like a stupid bet, we literally had 3 fifth-round finishes last year from the challengers who were down the cards. If this fight hits the 5th round, Makhachev's probably up 3-1. He's probably up 4-0. Volkanovski will know what he has to do. Man, just, I mean, $2-3 bet at minimum. Just minimum. Just at 60-1 odds for one of the best fighters we have seen in our lifetimes. I kind of think it's almost like a numbers play. You have to take a small poke on that.
Why not one unit to win 60?
Because I bet a draw tonight.
That is true.
So I'll give you that. I think,
I agree. And I agree with Jake in the chat saying Lou sharp. Heck yeah, he's sharp. I mean, he's first in the best bet competition for the first week. So we'll see.
Look, but it's a numbers play. You're getting literally one of the best fighters we've ever seen at 60-1 to get a late, especially off a year we're coming off of where, dude, even Teixeira, he got a takedown in round 5 against Jamal Hill. Like, and all Jamal Hill bettors were like, fuck? Like, you just don't know. Like, if he's there, he knows what he's going to have to do. So, 60 to 1's a crazy number.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going the other way. I'm going Makhachev inside the distance, -115, short and sweet. I think at some point he is going to finish Volkanovski. I think Volkanovski has incredible takedown defense, incredible get-up game, but, he's still going out there getting taken down by, featherweights. I think size is going to matter here. Islam did not look great at the weigh-ins, but he's going to rehydrate. He's going to be huge tonight, you got to imagine. And I think that size is going to play a factor. I think eventually he does lock something up. I think it comes later in the fight, though, maybe third or fourth round, but give me Islam inside the distance, -115 there. Weezy, what are you liking for the main event?
Yeah, I like Islam Makhachev to win the fight, but when I'm looking at the props, I'm not finding anything that I like, so I'm just not going to get cute here. Islam money line -380. Just try to finish the day by getting like 0.2 units added to whatever the total is at that point. Size matters. Weight class exists for a reason. And Makhachev is just going to be much bigger here. And should this get to the ground, I think, Volk's just going to be in a ton of trouble. So I could see just a number of paths here for Islam Makhachev.
All right. You said it was -380?
That's what I got. That's what I saw before the show. What's it at now?
Around there. I see I'll give you -370. I see it on FanDuel.
Okay. Oh, I got a -405 on FanDuel. So -380 DraftKings.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So we'll pull this up. So what we're going to do now at the end of every show, we go through everything to make sure everything's correct first and foremost. And then we talk about our favorite bet of the card. And if you do hit this bet, your profit doubles. So for example, I had the Craig Walker under 1.5 rounds a couple weeks ago that hit. I got the profit and then it doubled there. So for me, I'm going with the Tuhugov under 2.5 rounds +100. I am passing on the Builder fight. I'm taking Loma, Luke Boomy inside the distance +300. I'm passing on the Jenkins fight. I'm taking the Malarkey under 2.5 -160. I'm taking Rodriguez inside the distance +100. Passing on the Melsik fight. I'm taking Pedro under 1.5 rounds +114. Crute under 1.5 rounds -143. Tafa KO1 +440. Jack Della Maddalena KO -115. Rodriguez fight doesn't go to decision +102, and then Islam inside the distance -115. And my favorite bet of the week is going to be that Crute under 1.5 rounds, Crute Menifield under 1.5 rounds at -143. I love the stylistic matchup for some violence. I think both guys are dangerous wherever the fight goes, and I think this fight's going to finish one way or another, whether it's a Crute knockout or sub, or whether it's a Menifield first-round knockout. Uncle Weezy, you have Tuhugov, KO1 +400, Builder, finish only +110, Loma decision, -125. You're passing on the Jenkins fight. You took Malarkey under 2.5 rounds, -160. Rodriguez inside the distance, +100. You're passing on the Melsik fight. You have Pedro under 1.5, +114. Crute under 1.5, -143. Porter decision only, -125. Maddalena under 1.5, +145. You're passing on the Rodriguez Emmett fight, and you have Islam money line -380. Uncle Weezy, is all that correct? And if so, what is your best bet of the card?
That is all correct, and I'm going to go with the Prado Malarkey under 2.5 rounds at -160 is my best bet. I just don't see Prado getting into the third round in this fight, whether he wins it or loses it. It's a tall order to go into, to take this fight on short notice, fly all the way over there. And Malarkey's going to be by far the best opponent he's ever faced in his life. So love the violent spot there, and I think it's underpriced.
All right, sounds good. Lou, you're passing on the Tuhugov fight. You got Young, fight doesn't go to decision, -136. Loma inside the distance, +300. Jenkins inside the distance, -135. Malarkey decision, 225. Rodriguez inside the distance, +100. Melsik split, +500. Pedro inside the distance, +100. Crute under 1.5, -143. Tafa draw, +6,600. You're passing on the Maddalena fight. You got Rodriguez, fight doesn't go to decision, +102. And then you're passing on the main event. Lou, is all that correct? And if so, what is your best bet of the card?
I need you to fix it so it says Porter draw. I don't like the Tafa draw. I don't like the way it looks. Because my whole equity here is that Porker's gonna pork and do his Porker shit the last two rounds. Clinton Rodriguez in the distance, and honestly, whatever you want to say about him, it's not impressive. I just think Shannon Ross is that bad.
Fair enough. All right, and then
it's that simple.
All right. Well, Billy, you got Tuhugov KO1 plus 400. Young fight does it go to decision minus 136. Loma round 3 decision minus 165. You're passing on the Jenkins fight. You got Malarkey under 2.5 minus 160. You're passing on Rodriguez inside the distance, or you're passing on Rodriguez fight. You got Melsa KO1 2 plus 430. Pedro KO1 plus 420. Crute under 1.5 minus 143. You're passing on the Porter fight. Maddalena decision plus 320. Rodriguez money line minus 175. And Islam fight going over 2.5 rounds minus 148. Is all that correct? And if so, what is your best bet of the card?
Yep, all that's correct. And best bet of the card, like I said earlier, most convicted bet of the night is going to be that Melsa KO or KO rounds 1 or 2 plus 430. I think on that first exchange, Melsik's going to put him in the body bag, and we're going to cash it. And, Melsik's going to become a household name in this featherweight division in a couple of years.
So if you hit that, you will get plus 8.6 units. It would be a massive hit, Billy. All right, guys. So we're about running out of time. Going to kick it around real quick. Uncle Weezy, let the people know where they can find you, what you have going on typically throughout a week of MMA content.
Yeah, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Uncle Weezy. You can find me on Pub Sports Radio every Sunday for Stat Diggers, every Wednesday for the DFS show, and every Saturday for the Watch Along, which will be starting shortly. And you can find me on the MMA Engine YouTube channel doing probability every Monday with DFS by the numbers. Let's stack cash tickets like flapjacks for UFC 284. Good luck, everybody, on all your bets today.
Lou, let the people know where they can find you, what you typically have going on throughout MMA week.
Tons of shows. Just Lou Betya on Twitter, MMA Engine. It's variable every week. That's it. Good luck, guys. Seriously, I love dealing with chat. Love these 3 guys are geniuses in the panel. Let's all get that bag tonight, guys.
Let's get it. And then Billy, let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me over on Twitter at Getting Bills, Instagram, Billy Bridge DFS, all the content over there at Pub Sports Radio. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe.
Sounds good. You can follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers. I'll be posting the results tonight for the winner. And then I'll be updating the standings as well. And yeah, guys, subscribe to the channel, like as well. And we'll see you guys pretty soon. Best of luck for UFC 284. Let us make some money and enjoy the fight. That should be a very, very fun card tonight. See you guys later. Thanks for hanging out.